to build a virtual machine, you basically need two things on your computer, right? First one is your OS or operating system. And second one is your VirtualBox or type 2 hypervisor. Now, the type 2 hypervisor software that we're going to use today is called VirtualBox. So all you have to do is, go to google.com, type VirtualBox, right? And you get this virtualbox.org. Basically, VirtualBox is from Oracle, and they've given it for free, right? Click on this. Your page will be different. I have some plugins installed, so that's the reason why it's like this. So once you're in this VirtualBox pay website, you can download it, right? You can go to downloads, click on the downloads on the left side, to VirtualBox downloads, and depending on what operating system you're looking at, okay. But for me, I'm looking at Windows, right? I'm using Windows, so click on Windows hosts, and already have it. When I say download, it will download. So let me download it anyways. I have in my free download manager, right? Let me open that. Okay. I'm just downloading it, guys. Similarly, you can also download it. Once you download it, it'll open the setup, correct? Let me show you the setup too. Let me open that. So first thing is the setup, correct? It'll ask us to install the software. I'll show you the part where what is happening here. So if you look at it, what virtual is this fine? Correct? You can see it, right? So you get the custom setup over here. And what it's basically doing is it's actually installing your virtual networks or virtual NIC cards. Look at this: bridge networking, host-only networking. This is nothing but it's installing a virtual LAN on top of your computer. So that is what it's doing in order for it to provide internet to the underlying virtual machine. So if you say next, and all, it start creating everything. I'm not going to do that because it's going to reset your network. If you just go to your, for me, this is my Wi-Fi network, right? Correct. Similarly, you'll have a local network or Wi-Fi network. What it will do is it will go ahead, VirtualBox will go ahead and create a virtual network card based on the network card that we already have. Once that's done, okay, all you have to do is now you have to download the operating system. Now let's go to the operating system. Ubuntu is best for us. Let's go to Ubuntu. Click, and when you see ubuntu.com, that's the original website. Okay, let's go there. So Ubuntu, you can download it. If you look at this here, when you click on download, you have Ubuntu server and you have Ubuntu desktop and Ubuntu server. If you want to use this virtual machine for the next classes or next upcoming sessions, right? You can always download a Ubuntu server. That's because you're going to use it for networking, or you're going to use it for the Linux basics, Linux commands and all. You can also use desktop if you want to. There is nothing wrong in it, but generally we don't use desktop in the production environments. Desktop is used for home basic purposes. So let's go download Ubuntu server. And it'll ask you, don't worry about this too. Instant Ubuntu VMs, option 3 alternate. We will not going to go there. These are not for now. These are at least this one is for infrastructure as a service, provisioning and everything. Right now, let's download Ubuntu 22.04. If you think that is too much, you can go for alternative downloads, and you can see what downloads you have, 22 LTS or 21, however you want. But make sure you download a server version. Shall I explain it again? Go to google.com, Ubuntu. Yeah, go to Ubuntu link, ubuntu.com. Yeah, it's going to be a little high. Go to download Ubuntu server. Click on get Ubuntu server, and then Ubuntu server 22.04. Click on it, and your download should start in some time. And it's already started for me. So I can just click download. Okay. See, I have it already here, right? So I'm going to close it. So now we are good with downloading part and the VirtualBox part. Downloading, go to ubuntu.com. This is the download thing. I can give it to you in chat, everyone. There's my chat window. Yeah. Right? And VirtualBox also I'll give you. All you have to do is go to VirtualBox, Windows. As soon as you click on Windows, right, it'll start downloading. Thanks, Aparna. All right. Now you got it. Correct. Now, the next thing that we do is actually installing this virtual machine on top of VirtualBox. Now let's go to VirtualBox. There you go. This is my, don't worry about this. Mine is an older version. You might get this error, or you might, pop up, or you might not get this pop up. Don't worry about it. Okay, yours might be little, probably smaller. I'm going to delete this, delete all files. Okay. Now I don't have any virtual machines, correct? Now, the first thing that you want to do is add, click on add here. Sorry, not add. Click on new here. What it's going to do is it will basically ask you, hey, you want to create a new virtual machine. What do you want its name to be like? And what is this family, operating system family? When I say operating system family, Windows is one family, Linux is another family, Mac OS is another family. Correct? So let's create a Ubuntu. Ubuntu Master. Right. Now the second thing is it's going to ask you where to place those hard disk files and the configuration files that come with it. So what will happen is every time you create a virtual machine, it comes with a set of files. One is the configuration file that will tell the hypervisor, hey, this VM's virtual disk is this much, hard disk is this much. This is where it's stored. This is what its networking is. And second would be the page files where it'll block a system memory or system memory, which it's called a page file, right? It will block a system RAM and it will keep it so that your VM can operate. And the third one would be your hard disk files. I'm going very, very, very high level, guys. I'm just explaining it in an oversimplified manner, right? So we have some set of files, and it's going to store all the set of files in this folder. That's where your machine folder is. The reason why it saves it over there is, for example, tomorrow you have created your virtual machine in VirtualBox and you want to move it to another server or another laptop, correct? All you can do is you can take this files and put it there in that machine, and you can click on the add button here to add the files. Understood? All right. Now type with the Linux. I told you, right? Linux family. So let's install in Linux. And version, what is your version? Fedora, Ubuntu. We don't have Ubuntu here. Yeah, Fedora should be fine in that way. Let it choose it by itself. And now the memory. For my 1 second. So for my for this virtual machine, I'll give it a 4084 RAM. Or in fact, I can bump it up to some 8000 whatever RAM, right? 8192. Because I have basically I have Ubuntu is already there. Yeah. Thank you so much, man. Madhu. I didn't check it. That's okay. So I'll give whatever. I mean, probably 8849 RAM. Okay, just like that. Correct. Now, here are the three options that you get. Persist, do not add virtual hard disk. Basically, it will not add a storage. Remember, we are talking about blob and file storage. So this is what this VM is using that. Okay. And use an empty virtual hard disk. Remember, I was telling you about saving your hard disk somewhere. You can add it if you have it. But for our purposes, we don't have anything. So let's create a virtual hard disk right now. Okay. And just click on create. Now it'll ask us, how to attach this disk. There are two types of things. One is dynamically attached, dynamically allocated, and fixed size. So what is it? You guys want to understand, right? Let's talk about the storage and the physical disk first, and then we'll go to the hard disk file. Fine. Okay. Now storage in the physical disk part, it's two types. One, if you select 10 GB over here, this is what it's doing, right? When you say dynamically allocated, it will only allocate some size, for example, 1 GB or 2 GB just for the base system. And it will not actually take all the 10 GB from the underlying host. The reason being, you have selected dynamically allocated. So what will happen is, this is again a type of methodology where the system administrators or the virtualization engineers or administrators use. That's because if you have a storage of 100 GB and you say, he says, I have 5 people and they're all asking for VMs and everyone wants 50 GB. And what they'll do is, since they don't have enough storage, they'll use this option and they'll give it off to everyone. The reason being, not everyone uses that 50 GB in one day, correct? And if you do it like this, all the administrators will get some time to add the storage to their pool. So they do this something called dynamically allocated. This is not memory. Yes, that's correct, Ramarao. But this is the storage. We are talking about storage. We have 100 GB storage. You can, over provision your storage, but without it actually being there. That's also one of the virtualization concept. So what I'm doing is, I'm giving my file size as I don't need 5 GB. I would only need. Don't extract anything. I'll show you. Just wait for that step. Yeah, physical resource. Yes, correct. That's correct. Okay. So I'll have let's say 1 GB to 1.75 GB disk because we'll not use it. Okay. Now the file location. It's basically asking us how to save this file. The reason being, you have VDI, you have VHD, you have VMD, DK, HDD, etc. Right? These are the several several formats that other virtualization software or cloud software uses. So for example, if you have QCOW, right? Copy on QCOW, if you select QCOW, you can directly use this machine as a virtual machine in the cloud, in your infrastructure as a cloud. Probably OpenStack will take this one. And then again, we have VMDK, Hyper-V can take these kind of formats to look at. So look at what these formats are, and probably you can understand what they are. Basically, it's like .exe, .inf files, but those format files will be used by different virtualization systems. We are good there. So you know the difference between dynamically allocated and fixed size. I'll give it a 3 GB just to be safe side. Okay, I'm giving it 3 GB. Next, I'll say create. All right, good. So once I created, it's gonna give me my system over here on the left side, which is my virtual machine. On the right side, you have all of the descriptions. The general thing is, it's an Ubuntu 64-bit system, and the name of the system and the base memory, 7.825 gigs. Giving GB. Okay, that should be good. 7 GB. I'm sorry, my bad. 7,826 is GB, right? MB to GB, it is 7.2 GB. And it's going to give the boot order. What happens is, when you start a computer, you have that BIOS screen that comes in, right? So what your motherboard does is it will follow a specific pattern of booting. The first pattern when you don't have an operating system is it will always go to the floppy disk. If you have a CD, it will have go to the CD and the hard disk. But the hard disk, that if anything of that doesn't work, for example, it will go to floppy and the floppy doesn't work, it will go to the second boot order. So here, this is the boot order that your VM machine is following. That my Ubuntu NOS machine is following. And acceleration, see if the para virtualization is on because I've switched it on in the motherboard. And if you look at the display is also part of a virtualization, right? A graphic card, or there has to be something that you have to see, and you pass your keyboard and your mouse strokes to the system, correct? So display is also virtualized. And storage, it's already attached the SATA disk for my virtual machine. It's in .vdi format and it's given a 3 GB hard disk. Audio is there and network adapter. See if it's look at it. Intel Pro 1000 MT desktop NAT. What it's done is basically it's taken my desktop a physical NIC and created a NIC for itself, and it's attaching my computer's network to this virtual machine. And it has a USB controller, and you can also set up a shared folder for you to transfer files from a host machine, that is my machine, to the guest machine, which is a VMware machine, so virtual machine. Now, one more thing is, once you click on this, you can click on settings. And if you go to system, right, there's something called processor over here. Right now, it's only using one CPU. Remember, I was talking to you about my CPU. Let me show you my performance. See, I have 16 core processor, but it's detecting as 30 CPUs. The reason why one CPU is one socket or one core. Core is equal to two virtual CPUs. Remember, I told you in the first class. So if you have a 7 core processor, I think it's going to show you about 16 logical processors or vCPUs. So I have 16 here and I'm at 8%. The reason why I told you virtualization is important is because we don't utilize our system properly. You can see the metrics, right? You're able to see this on the left. All right. Okay, cool. So if you look at it, I'm basically, this is a task manager. Open your task manager, Control Shift Escape. Open it, Control Shift Escape and go to your performance tab and you can look at it. Similarly, my memory is about 64 GB. I'm using, how much am I using? 28 GB. So I have two hard disks. Hard disk is also not being utilized so much. Ethernet, Wi-Fi. I'm not using my Ethernet. So Wi-Fi, see, look at it. This is my actual throughput and output. CPU, if you look at my CPU, these are the statistics that you get when you open your task manager. But what I want you to see is, even though consider myself, my computer as a server, so I have about 16 cores. I'm not even using 6% of it right now. I'm not even using 10% of it. So that means if I can share my computer with 9 other people, correct? So that's a big win for me. I can even take money, right? That's how cloud is working right now. You pay as you go. You pay for the consumption. And in order for me to split my computer into 9 halves, nine different partitions, I have to use a virtualization software. So that is what I'm doing right now. I'm creating a virtual machine and I'm giving it, see, out of 32 cores, I'm going to give it 6 cores. Okay. Acceleration, you can leave it default. These are the things that we'll not need right now. And go to storage. No, let's and click OK. Go to system. Processor, you can give 2. Guys, don't give more than 2. More than 2 maximum. 2 or 3. If you have a big i7 system, give 3 maximum. I have a beefy computer, so I'm giving it 6 for the purpose of this demo. Otherwise, it's going to take some time for the system to start. All right. So and press OK. Now the first error that I'll get when I start is, can anyone guess? Okay. Yes. Why is that? Not the BIOS. BIOS you guys are already fixed. Correct. So it's saying I don't have a disk to start, guys. I mean, I don't have an operating system. I don't have an operating system. It's like put an operating system and I'll be happy to start. So let's select from here. Since I already have it, I'm not going to add that. I'm going to go close this, right? Power off, go to go to settings and go to the storage over here and click on the empty controller ID. This is your CD drive. And I'm going to use Ubuntu. What did we download? This one, right? Choose from a disk. Disks. Yeah. D software. Yeah. Now software, we have it. I'll open it and I've added it. Correct. I have a Windows too. Let's try how that works once this is done. So I put the ISO image. I'll say okay. And the next thing that I do is, just start my virtual machine. So it's like try or install. You can now. Okay. Okay. Let's do that steps again for ISO. I'm going to show you once again. I'm going to control escape or control V. Control V. One second. Okay. Even if I machine. Okay, fine. I think I'll show you. I'll basically show you the view. Can you see it now? Yeah, we'll check that, Mahesh. Mahesh, I don't know, full name doesn't come there. So what is happening basically? It's installing the virtual machine, and if you full screen it, right, you don't even know if you're in your machine or your virtual machine. Correct. So this is how you install. I'll also show you how to put the CD in again. What was that? Okay, so that's while that's happening. Okay, now it's asking me to choose the language. I'll choose English. Done. Ask me Ubuntu server. I can just check this. See what it's doing here. It's actually setting up a network interface card. The networking that this Ubuntu needs, right? It's setting up. I'll just press done with it, and we don't need any proxy. We don't need anything else. Just press OK. You guys are able to watch my screen, right? Okay. Okay. All right. So it's basically doing. Haridas, just ask questions pertaining to the class only. When if you have technical issues or if you know anything about, uh, you know, uh, the course and all, please talk in the WhatsApp class. This is not the place and forum to discuss these things. Okay, since I've not given a proper storage to this, right? I mean, I've given 3 GB. Probably it was not enough. So it's giving me an error. Do you guys know how to come out of the screen? Did you guys actually watch it? Do we need to install only Windows virtual machine? No, you can install anything that you guys want. It's not just if you want Windows, you can use anything that you want. All right. So it's throwing me an error, guys. The reason being, I think I've installed less, I've put in less hard disk. So we can change that. Yes, that's Control Alt, correct. So if you're inside it, press Control Alt. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting an error with the storage. That's because I've given it only 3 GB. Okay. I can either add a new one or remove it and restart new one. You're getting it, right? So remember, when I was installing this virtual machine, I put only 2 or 3 GB as a hard disk. So it's throwing an error. So what I'm doing is I'm going to the setting. I'm going to the storage. This is the hard disk. Remember, Ubuntu Nosfer is the hard disk. I can see, look at this, 3 GB. I can either add a new one or remove it and create a new one again. Right? So you can either create NVMe or something, but right now, you can create default. But again, I think it's going to throw error because we screwed up with the storage. All right. You're getting where I made mistake, right? Okay. So basically, I have not been given a storage, so I have to start a new use an existing disk. I'm trying to create a new one here because that storage is not available, right? Yeah. And GB is fine now. So this one is the old one. I have not given a proper disk here. So if you look at this, that's the old one, and the new one, we have added a 10 GB disk here. Got it? So if you want to add an old disk to the old one, if you want to change it, you can add a thing. SATA, right? Type can be anything. And here, I think you have to add the virtual disk here. Okay, we don't have anything. So Ubuntu Nosfer is a disk that we have. You guys are getting what I'm doing? So I've deleted my hard disk, correct? So you're adding new storage again. So what you have to do is in order for you to have a storage, you need to have the interface first. For example, in a physical laptop, even if you have a hard disk, there has to be a cable that connects to a system, correct? Similar way, I'm adding an interface called AHC SATA. SATA is what we use, right? SATA disk, SATA cable. So cable is there. See, it's even giving the cable symbol over here. Now it's saying, hey, I have the cable connected to the system. Give me the hard disk. So I'm clicking on the hard disk symbol over here. So here I have only these two. Ubuntu V2 is the new thing that I attached, and this one is the old one. Remember, 3 GB is the first thing I typed in. So I can add this, or I can create a new one. And when I'm creating a new one, it's asking me next. Same thing, dynamically allocated, and I'm giving it 10 GB this time. Okay, create it. Now this one I'm adding. So see, my hard disk is now attached. And if I go here to Nosfer again and start it back, this time hopefully we will not get any issues. Okay, let me do it in scaled mode. Just okay, you want the ISO step again? Fine, 1 second. I'll just power off this. I'll show you once again how to show the ISO. So version 2 is the one that I've recently started, correct? Go to settings and go to storage and go to controller IDE, right? Controller IDE. Go to empty and click on this icon over here. This is basically a CD-ROM. So click on it. It's gonna click on it. It's going to show what you have. If you don't have it, you can choose a disk file and it will go to the your Windows directory where you have downloaded it. Click on this, download that ISO. Once you've downloaded the ISO, click on this and click open. Correct? Now you're getting it? Everyone's clear? Go to your storage, go to your controller, click on the CD-ROM, click on this icon. If you have it here, that's fine. Otherwise, choose a disk. Cool. Now good. Now, where are we? Yeah. Let's start our old machine. Click on the virtual machine, Ubuntu NOS 4 or anything, and click on start. So I'm just seeing if the thing works. If you have any questions, yeah, put down over here right now. So it's going to take a little bit time. And for Mac virtualization, you cannot, there are hacks that you can do. Yes, installation is happening. Ubuntu system is getting installed right now. A virtual machine is being created. Operating system is being installed on top of it. For Mac, right? You guys have something called Hackintosh, I guess. I am not sure if there are ways for you to start a Mac VM also, but they are very unreliable and I don't think they're going to work in any kind of production environment. But on the other way around, you can install a Windows virtual machine in Mac operating system, but not the other way around. For Mac and Windows, it's very, very hard, but it's not, it's possible. Okay. So Hackintosh is the word that you're looking for. Someone asked me on it for it on WhatsApp. Yes. Don't give any proxy. You don't have to give any proxy. Just press enter. This is the hypervisor. Your Oracle Virtualbox Manager is your hypervisor software. So this video will be uploaded. Guys, let's finish it today. Whoever has not completed. If you don't have the laptop, that's fine. Try to borrow someone's laptop, your friend's laptop, and just do it. If you just watch the videos, now you will not be able to progress properly. What type of programs you mean? VirtualBox or VMs? You can run anything you want. Basically, you're on Windows, right? You want to develop something on Linux. You can quickly create a Linux machine and start. What's wrong with this? Do we have to restart? We are doing, how are we doing? We are doing 20. Wait, we have given 10 GB disk space for the VM, right? 10 GB. No, it will not be blocked until you select that create a hard disk now or something. There's an option, right? If you put dynamically, grow and shrink, then it will not be blocked. Yeah, there's an error. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. It started. Okay, video size is good or you want me to increase? Let me increase it. Yeah, 10 GB will work. I mean, see, we all make mistakes and we'll all learn from it. Today, you've seen my mistake and I've learned from it, and you guys know now. Give proper sizes to your VMs. Don't be arrogant like me and use a little bit or conjuice. Give proper VM sizes, guys. It'll work. Yeah, if you want to use entire disk, use it or dynamically provision it and whatever, however you want to work on it. That shouldn't be a problem. If you have enough hard disk space, use it. Okay. Meanwhile, shall we try out Windows while this happens? I don't know when I downloaded that, but I'll still try for you guys just to show you how the process works. Okay, I'll just minimize this so we can see the preview anytime we want. It's happening. Okay, now let's create a Windows machine. What Windows is it? I don't know. For Windows, I think we need at least how much do you need? Okay. 8192. Okay, create a hard disk now. Create and yeah, 30 GB is fine. Let's give it 50 probably. Create. Okay. The first part is done. The template is created. While what is happening here, that's the same thing. All right. I think it's working. Okay. Anyways, now that Windows virtual machine has been created, let's go to our settings again. System, give it at least 4 CPUs or 8 CPUs. In our case, I'm using and storage may empty. I have a Windows 10. Okay. System Windows 10. I have Windows 10. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Is it 32-bit or so what I'm doing is I'm checking what my version is. Windows 10, 64-bit. So in general, I can go for 64-bit. So I have display, everything configured, monitor, one monitor, everything is done. Storage is good. So let's click on OK. Let's see if it's starting or not. So see, I'm using my system as my computer as a host. I'm basically right now running 2 virtual machines, correct? One is this one. Another one's Windows. Yay, see, we got the boot screen. So that's how you start a virtual machine. That's how you create a virtual machine. You just have to restart it. Don't remember it taking so long. No, it's up to you. You can launch 1 or 2 or 3. For the sake of this demo, I'm actually putting, I'm just creating 2. Both will work parallelly. No problem with that because my underlying system has a proper hardware to, ensure that the VMs are running. You look at it, 2 systems are running. 1, 2. I can even start this just for the sake of it. Okay. Okay. Yeah. See, I'm starting three virtual machines now. Windows, it's just it's like this. Got it? So similarly, even if I don't have an operating system, correct, on top of my bare metal server, you install a hypervisor type 1 hypervisor and start creating VMs, right? So that is the use of virtualization. And let's say in the future, when you use clouds, right? This is how Windows is. This is how the virtual machines are installed or created in the backend. And what you're being given is the screen, basically not the screen, credentials of your system. And the way you log in is either using a remote desktop or a SSH connection using the network. See, I'm actually installing one more Ubuntu. See, actually, the second Ubuntu system that I started, right, is working. I mean, better than the first one. Okay, that's on its way. And what's happening with Windows? So I right now have 3 virtual machines that are going on simultaneously on my hardware. Hmm. Understood? You want to see Windows from the first? Yes, you can add that. You can add. Okay, okay. Let's see. I'm gonna close this Windows machine. Okay, and I'm gonna show you how I created Windows. Okay, power off this machine. Now the system is powered off. Let Ubuntu work in the background. Now I have this. In order, if you want to delete this, right? Click on this. Click on your Windows or any virtual machine, and you can remove it. And it will ask you for delete all files or remove only. So when you don't need the files and when you don't need the hard disk, you can just delete all files, and that's gone. So see, I'll show you how to create a new Windows machine again. New Windows 10. Okay. Version is 10, 64-bit. Memory size is let's say 8192 is fine. Okay, this is fine. Now I'm creating a new virtual machine. By the way, you might get like something like this, right? So I put an expert mode so you know what is happening. Windows and create. It'll ask me for hard disk. I'm creating a hard disk, dynamically allocated or fixed size. I can put dynamically allocated and click on create. Once that's created, switch, go to your Windows system, go to settings, and then go to your storage. Now you have the CD icon, right? You guys know what CD is? I mean, hope you're old enough like me. You know what CDs are, right? So click on CD, the CD icon or optical drive, and click on this. I have my Windows already downloaded from, I don't know when we downloaded that, but I have it. So when you click on, it will be downloaded in your download folder or wherever folder, whichever folder you've actually set in Windows as you download. So in order for you to get this Windows, you have to go to Microsoft website and get it there. Yeah, I have it downloaded. Nothing over here is, you will not get all of this. You'll only get probably Ubuntu if you've tried it. That's because you've already downloaded it and added to VMware, VMbox one, VirtualBox once. So you will just have to go click on this one. Click on your choose a disk file and go to your Windows Explorer and then put it. Then go to the file where you have downloaded Windows and start Windows. Got it? You will not be having it here. I had it here. I have it here because I've downloaded it sometime. I don't know when. Probably for the demo, I must have downloaded it. Yes. Yes, yes, correct. That's correct. You have to download Windows OS or any, like you downloaded Ubuntu. Same way you download Windows. If you want to download some other version of Linux, download it and start the VM. Still installing or Windows, Microsoft. The first version is stuck. That's okay. Okay, now you got it. Now you understood how to do this. So all of this is automated when you do it in the cloud. When I say automated, you will be getting a front-end dashboard, Azure or AWS or GCP. All of this is automated. This is all the undercloud stuff. So when you create a VM in the cloud, all of this is happening inside a server under a hypervisor or virtualization. And that's the reason why you need to know what virtualization is. If you want to understand cloud better or your progress better. Got it? So this is what's happening underneath. So you see, my system only could run at least three, 4 VMs, correct? Imagine the servers that they have. Unmount it. So what happens is, once you've installed Ubuntu, similarly with everything, once you've installed an operating system, you know, when you restart the system, remember the boot options I spoke about? The boot option will go to the CD first. So only when you unmount the CD, it will go to the operating system. Correct? So the CD, once you installed it, or the optical or the drive has to be removed. So the VM creation and all this, it's called the ISOs, right? You can do that. I mean, once you install everything, there are some tools that you can use to make your own CD. How did you mount it? The same way you unmount it. So Ubuntu is running, right? Let's go to Ubuntu Nosfer. Click on settings. Once the installation is complete, go to storage. You have this Ubuntu server over here, right? Click on this and you can remove the disk from virtual machine or unmount it. My second virtual machine I've started at last. Now you know how to unmount it also. See, block device. Installer is waiting for block devices. What is a block device, guys? For us? Yes. What is a block device? Name it. Remember, we spoke about it. Correct. Exactly. And what is a file mount? What do we do for other one? Block, and what is other thing? What network files here? Give the proper name. Continue. There you go. Yeah, file storage, block storage. Some people also call it blob storage, but don't get worried. File and blob are the same. Right? Now you know how to run a virtual machine, how to set up a virtual machine, and how to delete a virtual machine. Any more doubts? So once a virtual machine is created, it will say that you have to unmount the CD or unmount the OS. To unmount, the same way you mounted the ISO, the same way you have to unmount it. Go back to your settings and go back to your storage. Go back to the controller optical drive and click on it and remove it from this and start the system again. Yeah, I have two systems running. Hope you're able to see everything today. I mean, not like last time, correct? If you're stuck inside your virtual machine, Control and Alt gets your cursor out. Any questions? Good with today's class? So do you think this demo helped? Yeah, same process for cloud, but actually you will not be doing this. The people at Microsoft, Google, or AWS will be doing it for you. So you don't have to worry about any problems. It's their issue, and they'll give the VM that you requested for. Yeah, you can create how many other users you want, not one or two. Yeah, I'm hoping to see if this process completes fast. I mean, I don't know. I have the biggest system here and it's slowest here. We will not be doing that, Surya. You go ahead and see the Linux commands. When we get to Linux, we will show you how to create users and the 2025 basic commands. But there are many tutorials available online. All you just go to Google, search for create user Linux, and or the whichever you're using Ubuntu, add user something. Not hard, just 2 minutes job. That's it. All right. Tomorrow we will start Azure Basics, Introduction to Azure. Very small, basic introduction to Azure. Recap what is fault tolerance, high availability, elasticity, and then we'll start what Azure is and where it's and its infrastructure and organization. Then we'll talk a little bit about Azure services and how you can utilize them. And I think we can conclude what the basics of Azure. I mean, the introduction to Azure. From Monday, we are planning to go ahead with AZ 900, right? That will be 1 week to 10 days long, 1 week to 10 days long. And after that, we'll be going through AZ 104. It's important you guys don't create any Azure accounts right now. Let's buy ourselves the maximum times. And one more things, guys. If you want to create an Azure, yeah, let me 1 second. We'll talk. So if you want to create Azure accounts, right? You guys have to have either a debit card or a credit card, and international transaction has to be enabled. They'll charge 1 or 2 rupees and give that money back to you. And they'll give you a free account, free tier account for 1 month, where you will not be charged for the services that they give you. Okay, be ready with that next week. Otherwise, you'll face issues creating Azure accounts, because recently Government of India has introduced some auto debit facility, etc. Some law they have passed. So after that, creating Azure account has become a mess. So be ready with your credit or debit cards. Not for me, for yourself when you create Azure account, but make sure that you guys have this transaction enabled. I don't think they are using they yeah yeah for Azure. I don't think one card can give two portals. It's stupid. I know Microsoft becomes very stupid sometimes, but yeah, yes, it's a lifetime Azure account. You have to pay for the services that you use. That's correct. Or use someone else's card, your mom's card, your dad's card, husband's card, wife's card. Take a card. Tell them, I'll use 100 rupees today. Okay. Aparna, would you want to discuss the hack with us? Probably you should take one session for us. So partition issues, who was sending me an issue? Yeah, like me. Yeah, you can directly talk to Ravi or me myself. That should be okay after the class. Okay, installation complete on the second system. Look at it, guys. Now, once you reboot it, see, I'll get the same error. Yeah, finally, right? All right. So installation is complete. Everything is done. It's running. It's stopping. No problem. I can just. Other one is also finished. Is it? The other one. It's installing the kernel. Okay. Powering off the system. Now, when I start. Okay, not this. When I start it, that's okay. When I start it, I think it's going, hopefully it should ask me for the, see, it's going back to this again. The reason is I didn't switch it properly, but I should be getting a warning saying, your optical drive is still in. Okay. When you get that, all you have to do is go to the setting of that virtual machine, go to the storage, click on the image that you have downloaded, go to the CD icon over here and remove this from virtual machine. So it will become empty again. So for a new VM, add it. For an old VM, remove it. All right. Any more questions for today? Guessing no. Or am I missing something? Oh, you guys, okay. Don't do it like me. That's the proper way. You can turn it off. There are, let me show you. Excuse me. You can either do it like this, close. Okay, or you can go there to your Virtualbox and do it. See, reset and close. Reset is restart, close, and you can shut it down. My screen is not visible. I'm sharing my screen. You can shut it down. It's not, it's fine, no problem. Once you're done with your work, you can just click on it and, close and power it off. There's something called a save state, which I forgot to tell you. If everyone's here, how many people are? All right, okay. Quickly, I'm saying when you press and close, right? If you say save state, the VM will just freeze. So next time when you start, you can start it at the way that way that you froze it. But if you say save state, right, your CPU, your resources will be utilized, or they'll still be under use. We can talk about it tomorrow if you guys have any doubt. But I don't think you guys need to know this. But anyways, just power it down if you don't want to use the VM. Or you can just click it like this, power off your VM. Okay, guys, thank you so much for attending today. As usual, if you have any doubts, post them in the forum, and please do share and like our social handles also. So that gives us a visibility, right? We also want to start future batches, so please do that. Okay. Okay, I'm opening mic if you guys want to talk something. So, okay. Okay, there you go.
Okay, there you go.
1 second.
Yeah, Sandeep. No.
Yeah, tell me, who's this?
Yeah, tell me, who's this?
Yeah, Sandeep Naresh here. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah. Sandeep. So we installed the VM, right? Getting some background noise. Yes, Sandeep. So once we install this VM, right? Suppose on top of this VM, so I have installed some softwares like Tomcat, some other tools. So suppose, and on top of that, the company is having some 100 VMs. So we can't install all the things in all the VMs, right, at a time. So for that purpose, we'll be creating an image on top of this, and we can use the image for all the VM creations, right? So
Yeah,
you know
that is
that
one
process,
way.
like how we can do that.
That's
Yeah.
one way.
Yeah, that's one way, and
Yeah,
you
that's
can
one way,
further
and you
simplify
can
this process
further
by
simplify this
installing your
process
patch
by
manager
installing
or
your patch
something like
manager or something like
there's a Windows tool,
there's a
Windows
Windows
Update Manager
tool,
or
Windows
something like that.
Update Manager or something like that.
So
Or yeah, wait. So
Or
understood.
yeah, wait.
So you
So
can
understood.
install
So
like
you can
100 or 20
install like
software that you
100 or
need
20
in
software that you
one
need
VM,
in one VM,
right?
right?
And you can create a
And you
disk
can
out of it.
create a disk out of it.
So next time when you're
So next
creating
time when you're
new
creating
VMs, you can
new VMs, you
simply
can
use this disk
simply
for
use
all the
this disk
VMs.
for all the VMs.
Okay, got it. You mean to say like, so on disk we need to install all the things, and whenever we are creating the new VM, so we need to attach the disk to that VM. My
Yeah.
point is
That's
right.
called a
That's
golden
called a
disk.
golden disk.
Okay, okay, got it. And like, so see, now we have a VM, right? And now Ubuntu we created. So on top of this, can we create our own image? Own ISO file.
Yeah, you can create.
Yeah, you can create.
Okay. Actually, I don't know the process how we can create that, but
There are a lot
There
of
are a
ISO
lot of ISO
creators on Google.
creators
You
on
can use
Google.
any one
You
of
can use
them,
any
and
one
you
of
will be
them,
able to
and you
create
will be able to
ISO
create
image out of
ISO
it.
image out
Yes,
of it.
Sandeep, your
Yes,
voice is
Sandeep, your
getting
voice
echo.
is getting echo.
That's because someone
That's
has switched
because
on the
someone has
mic
switched on the mic
and
and
speaker somewhere else.
speaker somewhere else.
Is it better? Yeah. So basically, my Naresh has started this mic, right? So my voice is being echoing there. That's it.
And like you had asked to go to the social media, which we went. You also had asked to rate your lessons, but where do we go and rate?
You mean I just want you guys to like and share. I will share the handles probably periodically
Yes, I was talking about
going
the
forward.
handles because I went to the social media, FB and all, and I've already liked the pages.
Yeah,
But
website
I
is
didn't.
half baked right now. We have to cook it as we go further.
No,
Yeah,
no, no. FB, I said, Facebook.
yeah.
There
We'll
I
do
have
that.
liked the page.
We'll start
Yeah,
promoting those
but
links
I
too.
remember you said that even the lessons to rate the lessons. So where do I go to rate the lessons? Was my question.
You mean what the lessons you want? You want to watch the lessons, right? Those will be in the
No, 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 no,
dashboard.
no. Hold on.
Aparna, you can rate the course on our
Oh, you mean
website.
rate the
It's
lessons? Okay,
Okay.
got it.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
my mic was low. I just increased the volume. Yeah, so rate the lessons or rate your whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Where
think
do
it
I
will
go?
be in your courses. Courses, I think you can rate there. If not, I can
Oh, okay.
take a
But then
screenshot.
I thought it is like then it is private to me, right? It's not public.
Got it.
Yeah, that was the reason I was asking, like, what would be okay. For now,
Sure.
I would do that. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Anything?
Welcome.
Anything else? No? Okay. Then have a good day, everyone, and see you tomorrow.